Hey everyone and welcome. So have you ever felt like your YouTube channel is just stuck? Like you're putting in all this work and getting nowhere? Well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to crack the code on the YouTube recommendation system, especially for those of us with smaller channels.
I mean, this is it, right? This is the big question that keeps so many creators up at night. You're pouring your heart and soul into your videos. You think you're doing everything right, but it just feels like you're invisible. It is so frustrating, and you start to think you're just waiting for some lucky break that's never going to come. But what if I told you it has nothing to do with luck?
Here's the truth. The YouTube algorithm isn't holding a grudge against your last video that flopped. It's a system. And like any system, it just responds to specific signals. Success isn't random. It's about understanding what those signals are and sending the right ones over and over again. And that is exactly what we are going to break down right now.
Okay, so to start sending the right signals, we've got to get inside the algorithm's head a little bit. We need to understand what YouTube is actually trying to accomplish. It's not some big, scary, mysterious black box. It has a very, very clear goal. And once we know what that is, we can line our strategy up with it perfectly.
So here's the bottom line. YouTube has one main goal: to keep people happy and watching videos for as long as humanly possible. That's it. Every single decision the algorithm makes is designed to do that. If your videos help YouTube achieve this, you're going to get rewarded. If they don't, you're going to get buried. At the end of the day, the algorithm is trying to create these awesome binge sessions where one good video just rolls into the next and the next. That's the whole game.
So to protect that viewer experience, YouTube doesn't just, blast your new video out to the entire world. No way. It uses this really clever three-tiered testing system. First, it shows your video to your core audience, your subscribers, the people who already know you and trust you. If they like it, if they click and watch, YouTube gets more confident. So it expands the test to a secondary audience, people who are interested in your topic but maybe haven't seen you before. And if that goes well, that's when it pushes it out to the broad audience. That's where the viral magic happens. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly explains why that test is so important. Just imagine your YouTube for a second. You show a video to a handful of people and they all immediately click away. Or even worse, they close the YouTube app entirely. That is a massive red flag. The algorithm learns, okay, this video kills watch time, so it stops showing it. It's not personal, it's just the algorithm protecting its mission.
Okay, so we get it. The algorithm wants us to create binge-watching sessions. That's the theory. But how? How do we actually make content that does that? Let's get into the creative strategy, the fun part. A really powerful way to think about your videos is with this viral loop framework: hook, hold, and handoff. The hook, that's your title and your thumbnail. It's the big, juicy promise that makes someone click. The hold is the video itself, where you deliver on that promise, and ideally, you keep raising the stakes to keep people glued to the screen. And then the handoff. This is the part almost everyone forgets. You don't just say, "Thanks for watching, bye." You actively point them to the next video to keep that binge session going.
Let's look at a wild example of this in action from creator Nick DiGiovanni. The hook is irresistible, cooking gourmet food for animals. The hold is the escalating chaos. He goes from cooking for a cat to cooking for a lion. You just have to see what happens next, right? And the handoff is perfect. He doesn't just end it, he points directly to another even crazier video, practically daring you not to click and keep that binge alive.
Now look, you don't have to go out and cook for a lion to make this work. For most of us, a much more sustainable strategy is something called content buckets. All this is finding a video format or a series that works for you and then turning it into a repeatable template. This gives your audience something reliable and familiar to come back for, and it makes creating those binge-worthy chains of content so much easier.
And you see the biggest creators on the planet do this all the time. Mr. Who's the Boss has his I Bought the Most Expensive tech series. Ryan Trahan has his whole I Tried one-star challenges. TD Bricks has an entire series dedicated to Lego tricks. Each of these is a reliable bucket they can go back to again and again. It guarantees an audience and it screams to the algorithm, "Hey, I've got reliable, bingeable stuff over here."
All right, making great content is one huge piece of the puzzle. But the other piece, and this is one so many people miss, is making sure YouTube actually understands what your channel is about in the first place. This is especially true when you're just starting out. And that's where a few simple kind of hidden settings can make all the difference. Think of this next part as a super quick 2-minute tune-up for your channel. Seriously, this is going to take you less time than brewing a cup of coffee, but the impact is huge. These are settings that most creators never even look at, but they are so powerful for teaching the algorithm who your videos are for. First up, channel keywords. You'll find these deep in your YouTube Studio settings. Now listen, these are not tags for your individual videos. These are keywords that describe your entire channel. You want a good mix here. Some broad terms like true crime, and then some more specific phrases that your audience is actually searching for, like unsolved mystery stories. This is your first, most direct signal to YouTube about where you fit in.
Next is the default description. I love this one. Think of it like a little elevator pitch for your channel that gets automatically tacked on to the bottom of every single video you upload. You write it once, and that's it. It saves you a ton of time, and it constantly reinforces what your niche is to both your viewers and, you guessed it, the algorithm. It's such an easy win.
And finally, we have default tags. Just like the description, these are tags that you set once and they get added to every video automatically. For a new channel, this is absolutely crucial because the algorithm has basically no data on you yet. Adding just 2 to 5 broad tags that describe your channel as a whole, like Lego or stop motion, gives the algorithm a vital clue, a starting point for understanding your content right from day one.
And honestly, this is the perfect way to think about it. Your channel keywords, your default description, and your default tags, they all work together like a GPS. You're not leaving things to chance and hoping the algorithm figures it out. You are giving it a clear, precise roadmap, telling it exactly where your content belongs and who needs to see it. So let's bring this all home. We've talked about a content strategy that works, and we've got our channel settings dialed in. The final piece that ties all of this together is understanding how it builds on itself over time, through this really powerful idea of trust.
It really all boils down to this positive feedback loop. When you consistently make good stuff that delivers on its promise, you build audience trust. Simple as that. Your viewers learn that clicking on your video is worth their time, so they do it more often. Then the algorithm sees this positive behavior and it starts to develop what you could call algorithmic trust. It sees people are happy, so it recommends your videos to more people, which in turn builds more audience trust. It's this beautiful, powerful cycle that just starts feeding itself.
So at the end of the day, what does this all mean? It means this isn't about finding some secret hack. It's not about clickbait or having the fanciest camera gear and editing. Sustainable, real growth on YouTube comes from building a genuine connection with your audience. It comes from being authentic.
Just take a look at Sean Overton. This guy went viral just by documenting his journey building a home out in the desert. His secret? It wasn't some fancy trick. It was honesty. He literally just admitted, I don't know what I'm doing, and he shared all his struggles along the way. That raw vulnerability created an incredibly powerful, authentic connection. And that is what people, and therefore the algorithm, truly respond to. So the real question to leave you with is, what authentic story can you tell?